The Christmas story brought to life using story stones. It has been an immense privilege over the past couple of weeks to take a number of my nativity sets around local schools and to share the message with the children in their classes and in their assemblies and collective worship. And in one very small reception class, so the children are 4 and 5 years old, I took a series of story stones. And these are the stones which have got pictures on one side, and the other side of the stone is blank. And I laid them all out on a mat face down so nobody could see the pictures. And I invited the group to come and pick up a stone and don't show anybody else the picture. And you could see the children looking down at what the picture was all about. And then I started to share the story with the children. And so I began by speaking of an angel who brought a message to Mary and then to Joseph. And so the child who had the angel brought the angel forward and we placed it on the mat. And all of a sudden, as I began to share the story of their journey up to Bethlehem, they went on the donkey and they went to the inn and there was no room at the inn, and they went to the stable that was at the back. And every time I mentioned one of the stones, here's the stable, every time I mentioned one of the stones, the children brought those pictures forward. Then, as the story continued, I mentioned the stargazers who had come from the east. And I asked the children, how are they going to get there? And they were all going, they're going to ride in a camel. And so the 3 camels appeared. And then a few moments later, I said, well, what about the stargazers, the kings? And one child brought a king and another brought a king. And for some reason, the 3rd king was lost and everybody was going, well, where's the king? Where's the king? And I looked at the teacher and kind of said, well, it was there in the beginning. And no, we've got it. And I had to think on my feet rather than just continue the story by simply saying, well, it doesn't say in the Bible how many kings there were. It just says they brought gifts and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. And so I carried on with the story, and by now all the characters were almost together. We had the angel who took the message to shepherds out in the fields. Good news of great joy, get down to Bethlehem and see what has happened. A Saviour has been born there. And as I was continuing and sharing the story, and just before I was to announce that the baby was to be born, a little girl who was sat near the front went ferreting in a pocket and said, Miss, I've got the king who was lost, who then appeared. And I had this thought which ran straight away through my mind. The king was there the whole time, and we didn't realize it. And how often is that true of life and faith and belief in God? The King is there the whole time, but do we realize it? A Saviour has been born to you who is Christ the Lord. I hope that this Christmas we will enjoy a time with family, with friends, and realise about keeping those people close to us who share our experience, the Nativity.